watching 3 Questions with Kat. Hey y'all, this is Catherine Norland, and this is Seth. What's your last name?
Brubaker.
Seth is playing my husband for today on a Dhar Mann film, which you guys will see soon. Okay, so I wanted to ask you 3 questions. These are the 3 questions I always want to know. You've written a book. Tell us the book.
The name is The John Chronicles: Making Peace with Mania.
Making Peace with Mania. Now, Seth has some experience in the mental health field, learning about it, reading about it, helping others with it, and also experiencing it and coming through it. And so he's got a lot of great advice, anyone who's dealing with mental health issues. Now, you guys know my channel is about kind of finding success, getting to your goals, getting over obstacles. So we're going to ask Seth, number 1, what stops people from succeeding?
Oh, I think most assuredly getting in your own way stops people from succeeding.
Mm-hmm.
Believing in something negative that's in your way as an obstacle, as opposed to just something that you have to overcome and keep going towards your goal.
Okay. Do you have anything else to say on that? Like, can you give any specific concrete example or something from your life where you've done that?
I could say that most definitely when it comes to like diet and exercise,
Mm-hmm.
that was the most logical metaphor for that, because you try something out and it doesn't immediately work for you. It's very easy just to quit doing that thing. But as we know and experience that, if you can devote 28 days to a routine, it becomes a habit.
Mm-hmm.
So the same thing goes for professional dreams and aspirations and things of that nature. If you consider success in those fields, if
Mm-hmm.
you just continually create manifest goals that you're baby stepping towards,
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine not getting at least some little victories that keep pushing you along the path.
Awesome. Second question. What have you found to be the best way to overcome your obstacles in life? Obstacles standing in the way of your goals or what you want?
I feel like it has everything to do with putting it in context. If I personalize an obstacle, it's harder for me to overcome it. So if I just feel as if this is something that came up,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to continue along my path, I'm going to take what I can from this experience, overcoming that, finding a new path. That is the easiest way for me to overcome obstacles. Like if you get a preconceived notion, I always say it's feel free to trade in your heroes and feel free to trade in your goals, right? Like if you're still operating on what the 25-year-old you wanted by this age,
Mm-hmm.
are you the same person that you were when you made that goal? Probably not. At some point in time, the coolest thing that you could do becomes its own opposite, right? Like if I wanted to be the coolest guy to my 25-year-old self now, that would be kind of laughable as a 48-year-old man. Like you need to constantly reassess in a very honest way what it is, what your motivations are, and where it is you want to go.
Okay. Now, I have a lot of people who watch my channel that are teenagers. So can you say it in a simpler way what you mean by personalization and putting it in context? So some of these people might have had a goal when they were 10 and now they're 15. How can you break it down for someone who's younger to understand what you mean to help them get over their obstacles and things standing in their way?
Gotcha. Sure. If you have a real specific goal, sometimes you need to break that down into steps, right? Whereby, if you say, I say there's never going to be any problem with you shooting for the absolute height, but you have to be realistic about the amount of time it takes to get to each step, and to
Okay.
recognize those small steps as little victories themselves.
So it's not going to happen overnight. If you have a big dream, it could take years. And are you committed to that? Is this a dream that you, if you made this dream when you were 10 or 15, now that you're 20, are you still committed to that dream? And it's okay to quit and give up on it as you get older and your goals change, your desires change, preferences change.
Absolutely. Let's hope so,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I don't want to be stuck in a rut of, who I was at a certain time, and the great quote from John Lennon says, the definition of what life is what happens to you while you're making other plans. So, don't be hard on yourself for not, that's a huge one. People beat
Yeah.
themselves up, mercilessly, probably more so than anybody else.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
take it easy, but also, keep that goal in mind. It's very easy to get off the path of what your goal is, and then when you just question, go, why, oh why hasn't such X, Y, and Z happened? Well, it hasn't happened because you got off the path. You're over here doing something frivolous that doesn't add to your progress.
So you're wasting your time doing stuff that doesn't even lead to your goals.
I call it commensurate causality. Everything is equal to the amount of time and effort, and whatever the currency is, if that's your energy towards it. And causality is just cause and effect. You constantly are creating those little payoffs of completion.
Okay, final question is, what do you wish you would have known 5 years ago?
That Bitcoin was going to be such a big thing. What do I wish that I would have known 5 years ago? 5 years ago.
I know most people say what, your 20-year-old self or this, but we're growing every day.
Right.
So even just 5 years ago, you've learned something that, or you didn't learn something that you do know now.
I've learned that the way that I react to things can be a learned routine, and it really usually starts very early. And you kind of create a defense mechanism for yourself. You create a way of dealing with something, whether you're aggressive or you're passive, but you have a set routine. And what I've learned in the last 5 years is that I can really question that. I can blow that up and reverse engineer it, and I can change it. I can really.
So to give a concrete example, so if somebody says something mean to you, so I'm talking to the younger folk, somebody says something mean to you, your automatic go-to might be to go in your room and cry, or might be to go out and punch a hole in the wall.
Right.
So so you're saying to start to question your automatic behavior? Am I saying that of what you mean? Does that correlate with what you mean? I'm trying to break it down into easily digestible pieces.
Gotcha. I think it's healthy to process things. I think it's healthy if you feel like you need to cry. That is a huge release of emotion. I feel like crying right now. But as far as if you take things personally, and let it affect you in a negative way, it's not always valid. You don't necessarily have to take on somebody else's stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they come at you with anger, you don't have to respond back in the same way.
Absolutely. I say I cannot be insulted by anyone I don't admire.
So
that narrows it
and
down.
a lot of people who watch this, they're getting cyberbullied. They're getting people online who they don't even know saying, I just had a comment on my YouTube channel the other day, and somebody wrote, "Nobody likes you." And I'm looking at my videos going, wow, this one has 100 likes and this one has, so obviously there's a few people that like me, but there's a cyberbully. So he's saying, don't take on insults from people you don't admire. It's not even, you could have people in your life who your aunt may be insulting you, your brother may be insulting you, but if you don't admire them, they're not somebody you would want to get feedback from. Don't take it in, don't take it on, don't let it bring you down.
And they probably have something going on in their life that makes them want to lash out negatively. And ultimately, everybody's on a path where they're going to learn that, that negative action has an equal and opposite reaction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the more positivity you can put out there, and the
Yep.
more you try to buoy the people around you, not buoy, make them pull them up.
I
That
was trying to get your hand motion in there.
buoy.
Buoy.
That is
Lift and lighten.
that is going to help you too. You know, we rise up collectively. We all have the ability to put somebody else in a better mood, in a better place, and that is, I think, the ultimate goal of, you know, being part of a society. You know, is it takes a village. It takes a village to help people. And if, you know, the haters are going to hate, that's what they do.
Yep.
You know, they'll come to the conclusion someday that all that hate comes from someplace.
Yeah.
You know, it comes,
Or they might not.
yeah.
They
Usually
might
they
not.
just have to look in the mirror, and the hate's coming
Yeah.
from them. Somebody told them something somewhere along the line. They believed it. It festered. That's emotional energy they've suppressed, and it's coming out this way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a big part of you know, my theory, you know, is that all imbalance is caused by suppressed emotional energy.
Mm-hmm.
How you know, whether it's addiction, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
compulsive, in my case it was bipolar and mania, like all those imbalances come from that emotional energy that's
Mm-hmm.
stored somewhere. Your body remembers. That's the name of a whole book in theology. And it's just true. You can't get away from it.
Mm-hmm. Seth, tell everyone where they can find you.
Oh, hi. I'm at Rebel Giant Productions on both YouTube and Instagram and Facebook.
Awesome. Thanks for talking with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
To overcome your obstacles standing in the way of your success and have the tips you need to reach your dreams.